Most of the time I'll use an 1176 for recording vocals, although sometimes I'll use kind of, you know, an LA2 or a CL1B Tube Tech, but the 1176 is just an absolutely great vocal compressor. And it's got, I don't know, it's relatively transparent, it's a little bit bright, it can be very grabby, it can be very full of tone and character, or it can be incredibly subtle and just kind of like a peak limiter, which is actually how I use it most of the time when recording, unless I'm going for something particularly kind of edgy. How I normally set it up, I'll normally kind of, this is how I've actually, the last time I recorded a vocal, this is how it's set up. So kind of low input actually and quite high output. So I pretty much stay always on 4:1 ratio here, just so it's not really compressing drastically if it is kicking in kind of thing. And personally, when I'm tracking vocals, I don't really want the gain to be extreme, although like it will occasionally go to like, I don't know, like -5, -7, -10. But normally it's just kind of tickling around the -3 sort of mark on like louder bits. But, you know, whatever works. If it's sounding good, then great. Absolutely brilliant. Like, go with it, you know. But I think I just kind of like know how much work I do sometimes after the fact recording. Like I just want to be able to kind of have a good signal going in, which I can then kind of adapt to like the song a bit more, you know, unless I'm really feeling kind of like it needs to be definitely pretty smashed on the way in. A good place to start with an 1176 is kind of like up maybe around 30, 18, kind of like, you know, and then for the attack and release, I kind of, generally have like slightly open attack, well, very open attack, and then pretty fast release. Maybe not the fastest release setting, but like just a bit up from there kind of thing. And that just means you're getting kind of the sort of, I guess the attack of the vocal coming through initially, and then it'll compress kind of slightly behind the attack of the vocal, just so you don't get a kind of obvious compression on the first sort of loud moment, the first peak sort of thing, the first few milliseconds of the peak. And then also the kind of quick release generally makes the compressor feel more transparent if you're not compressing it loads sort of thing. Although on different singers, it varies a lot, and some female voices I like to have much faster attack and much slower release, and it's just something you need to play around with for different people. But as a general rule of thumb, I kind of like my kind of attack around 3, or like kind of that sort of position, and then slightly faster kind of release, just because, I don't know, for me that seems to work for most people. But I will play with it a little bit, and then honestly, like, this is a good place to start here, but most of the time my output comes a fair bit up and my input will come quite a bit down, depending on how I'm recording the song. Like if I'm recording it in stages, I'll kind of, you know, maybe change that a bit. But generally I sort of set it up like this, and then I'll alter my preamp settings, just so like my preamp gain is informing how hard it's compressing.